Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with Karthik Raghuraman. In part 1, we explored his inspiring journey from financial struggles in India to leading major training programs for Fortune 500 companies in the US. We also touched on a pivotal moment in his life, one that made him rethink how he was showing up for his family. Now, I want to dig deeper into that moment. Karthik, you mentioned your son calling you lazy daddy. A simple phrase, but one that truly shook you. It's incredible how a single comment, especially from a child, can flip our entire perspective. You had built this strong identity around hard work and providing for your family, yet those words led to 9 hours of deep introspection. Um, so I want to pause here and unpack that. When you woke up the next day, did you feel like a different person, ready to make a change? Or were you still processing, unsure of where to go from there?
Great question, Harani. That day is very crucial. There are a lot of things happened. As I mentioned, I went down by 3 o'clock because I don't want to disturb my wife, but I thought of writing something in a journal or a notebook. So that's why I went down so that I can switch on the light and do a little bit of journaling to see, put my thoughts into paper. So I was writing whatever comes into my mind for 2 hours. Then 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. I came up because when I was writing, one thing I felt very strong is, throughout all this pain, the up and down, Dashni was with me for 8 years that time. I was like feeling I did not treat her well, or I did not give her the time that she wants. She likes going to a lot of places and vacations and stuff. But my scary thing is like this for any Crohn's patient. So we don't have this control over the bowel. I have 10 to 12 bowel movements per day during that downtime. We have 24 hours. So every 2 hours or so, I'll have to go to the restroom. This is including the nights as well. So whenever she asked, go for a vacation, I was like, can you check if there is places like around 2 hours so that if the worst case scenario, I can come back, or if the place has restrooms. So I was thinking my wife was with me for the entire 9 years, helping me with whatever diet or whatever it goes through our treatment. I have to be in hospital for 3 or 4 days so they'll give me IV and everything so that I can get back on track. So she went through all this. I did not do anything for her. So I came up and I saw her lying down on the bed. I gave a like a kiss on her forehead and said, "I love you." From that day onwards, Sarini, so till today, the way I look at my wife is totally different. So we did a lot of vacation the past 2 years. Every day I made it a habit to get up from bed and then give a kiss to her and say I love you. The way that I look at my kids, the way I look at my life, everything changed that from that day. I stick to that instant, but there are a lot of things we looked at it, and then we changed the entire lifestyle, the way that we live.
Wow, that's really powerful. Thank you for sharing that and being so open. What I'm hearing is that this wasn't just a passing moment for you. A lot of times we experience something, reflect on it for a bit, and then we move on. But for you, this was a real turning point, something you chose to hold on to as a reminder to inspire change in your life. So let's talk about what happened next. Beyond feeling grateful for your family and everything they have been through, what was the first real step you took to make a change? Not just for them, but for yourself.
When I was doing my engineering, I was not sure whether I'll get a job or not, but I wanted to ensure that I have some kind of a job. So I learned multiple skills. So the reason I'm going back there is acupuncture is something that I learned myself and I practiced for a year. But then since I moved into the IT, and then I started loving what I was doing, I completely stopped looking at acupuncture. The certificate is still hanging there in my wall, but I was not actually practicing or doing anything with acupuncture. And I thought we know for sure that in the modern medicine, there is no cure for Crohn's. So they will put you on remission. When you're in remission, then you'll have to be even more careful because they are switching off your immunity by biologicals, meaning, you might be exposed to anything. And during the COVID period, we are the one who got the vaccines first because even we are more vulnerable to the diseases. So I was thinking maybe acupuncture is something that I can look at. So I started looking at what other ways I can find a solution. If it's not a cure, at least on remission. So I started exploring. I worked with a coach, yoga coach, where he taught me specific things which is more practical for my particular disease and situation and my symptoms. Then I learned about breathing exercise, particularly what is helpful for my condition and situation. I had a coach to see what kind of workouts that I can do, like weightlifting or cardio. I also worked with a dietitian and along with my wife. So she is my dietitian now. But we learned a lot from other people. We try something and then we see if it is working or not. Then we had a system where we tracked pretty much everything, how my mood was, what food I am taking, how much water intake I'm taking, what kind of exercise work. You will have to see what works for you or not. So we did that analysis and then we slowly tweaked at each and every step, and we created like a daily routine. Now the life itself is a project. Taking care of me itself is a project. I still have to do the work as well. So we try to see how we can actually fit it in. I was always thinking I was a night owl, but I realized I was not a night owl. That is one thing maybe which hurt me more than anything else. Right now, I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and then I sleep by 8:30 in the night. Right, so I made that as a ritual. But from 4 a.m., what I'm doing, right, every 10 minutes, 30 minutes, everything is tracked. I have this list of 40 items that I need to do. It just keep changing. It might be 45, sometimes 35 time. But I have a scoring also. So at the end of the day, I review, see out of the 40 items, what did I did. So maybe I did 35, then I'm good. I reached my target, I reached my score. If I do anything less than 35, then that's not a good day for me. It was throughout the day, Harni. So I package in a way that I do something before the work, I do something after the work. So then I don't have to disturb my work. So that's the plan that we did.
But 30, 40 seems a lot. Is that
Yeah.
how many things that you had to deal with to
Right.
get your health back in track?
But when they're slowly starting, what are the things that is working? When I know this thing is working, for example, yoga is something that is working. There are a couple of moves that is working. I know for sure that I'll have to do it every day, no matter what. So similarly, how much of water I'm intaking, right? So 3.7 liters, right? So I'll have to do that no matter what. How do I measure it? How do I do it? Whether I did that or not at the end of the day, right? Again, breathing exercise. I start my day with visualization. So I have audio which I recorded with my own voice, with my affirmations, whatever things that I want to do in my life. That's what I listen to as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I visualize, and obviously gratitude. So important things which I need to do to manage my lifestyle, right? The new lifestyle. So out of those 40 things, if I do that, then I'm like very happy, man, at the end of the day. If I don't, then I'll see how I can actually improve. Keeps on changing based upon what works, what doesn't work. So I'll review it in a month or a 2 month frequency and see what are the things I can add or remove from that list. But I was maintaining that list almost for 1.5 years now.
Hmm. It sounds
That's really interesting. You've been experimenting with different things to see what works best for you. So now it sounds like you've built a solid routine with yoga, breath work, and affirmations. I'd love to hear more about that. What does that practice look like for you? And once you had these routine in place, how did your health start to improve? What changes did you notice in yourself? And how did your family react? Did they see a difference in you?
I think on that particular day, some kind of energy that I had because of that one word, lazy daddy, as it's a negative word from my son, but I was converting that into a positive energy. So even today, when I was running on treadmill, you get that energy loss at the end. I say lazy daddy to myself, then I get the energy from somewhere. Then I keep running for another 5 minutes, which I don't have that energy at all at the 30-minute mark, but I was able to run for 5 more minutes because of that one word. So I use that as a boost for myself whenever I'm running low on energy. Right, the way I looked at life was totally changed that day. Right? I had this energies from somewhere, so I used that energy towards the things that I wanted to do. As I mentioned, I was good at project management. I was good at learning. So I started learning more things about the disease itself. So how the disease came, what are the different causes that the disease might have came, what might happen in my life which led me to this disease, right? It's not just the 72 hours. There might be a lot of other reasons that I might have got this disease, right? What I can do differently and what worked for other people. So I did not leave any stone unturned, Harni. So whatever I wanted to do, I was completely focusing on doing everything day by day. So it did not happen overnight, but from that date, November 4th, thought process that I had in my mind, everything started changing. So I started gaining weight again, this time not because of the medicine, just because of the thinking and the whatever lifestyle changes that I made. I track my weight straight. The last one I tracked because I had this app. The fourth episode is captured in that app. I went down and then how I came back. Right? Now I am maintaining my weight at 90 to 200 pounds, which is an ideal average weight for me, not low, not very high as well. Right? So
so the weight gain was something that you have noticed about yourself as one positive outcome
energy,
of the change, and the energy. Okay. What
the
about your
ball.
family? What about your
Yeah,
family? What did they notice about you after you went through all of these changes?
my wife knows that I'm a changed person now. So the way I treat is totally different. And the things that I was not able to do it for her, particularly the vacation that she wanted to go on. So we did two road trips. We just did the one road trip first to see how far I can go. We went to Tennessee in 2022. So we were successful. That happened in like April or March timeframe in 2022. So when I was actually coming up, I felt good. So we were testing that. After that, we did two more long road trips. I could have never imagined before, Arni. I never had the guts to actually try. Right now, we do a lot of campings. We spend time in nature, which was a dream for me. We at least for my wife. Now we do it together, and we do a lot of vacations and trips nowadays. Some of the friends who I used to hang out in the night, so I'm not hanging out with them anymore.
Wow.
That's in a way it's good, right? They understand, they are true friends, and they have seen me go through this. Right, Sunday we went to birthday party. I signed off soon. Another thing, I quit alcohol too. I used to consume alcohol, and when I was downtrend, obviously I cannot touch alcohol. When I was the uptrend, I was feeling so confident. I used to drink alcohol, not like much, but in the weekends when I meet my friends. No, I don't consume alcohol.
It must have taken a lot of willpower, Karthik. I don't know how you did it, but that's a lot of change. And I'm so glad and so happy for you that you were able to do it. Now, what advice would you give someone who wants to make a change before they reach such a breaking point? And beyond that, I know you have channeled your experiences into something tangible. You have written multiple books. That's incredible, right? So, can you tell us more about what inspired you to write and what each of these books explore?
So there are two things maybe I'll like to say. Right, one is more of a mindset. I waited till my son has to call me lazy dad. I don't think anyone has to wait for that adversity to come attack you. So if you want to change, you can change it right now at the right instance. And second one, I would say, as part of this, I've also released three different books. As I mentioned in my story, right? One thing I was always saying yes. Now I know how to say no. That's something that I've learned, and I wrote a book about that. And the second thing, how to be active with kids, right? So that is the second book I wrote. And the third book, Art of Stress Management. How do you manage your stress? I never thought, because of the passion, I never thought it was the stress that was actually affecting me. I enjoyed the stress itself. So that was very wrong, actually. So those are the three books. I co-authored those books with another friend of mine. His name is Jamagosh Soundararajan. So he also went through similar adversities in his life with respect to health. So we both worked together and released those books last year. And I'm working on my fourth book, which is more on the how to learn faster, better, and easier.
You are already on to your fourth book? Wow, that's incredible. Tell me more about this book. What inspired you to write this one specifically?
I was focusing on only the financial part of it and the career part of it. So where I completely missed the focus on the other areas of my life. So this framework that I built in the past 2 years is where you should be able to focus on all different areas of life. For example, health, wealth, career, or relationship, or even hobby and spirituality. So all six areas of life. And for each area of life, there are 10 things that you will have to think through, do self reflection. So I named the framework as growth path. So I named the framework as growth path. You'll be able to set goals on each area of life and you'll be able to achieve that. G stands for goal, where the R stands for the reason. Then O stands for observations. The W stands for when. So you'll also have to put a timeline in place. And T in the growth framework stands for threats. What is that's currently stopping us not achieve that goal? The H stands for habit. Whatever you wanted to achieve, you have to find a habit and associate that with that particular goal. The next word is P, which is for planning. You might have a diet plan or you have a workout plan. You just follow that plan. And next word is A, which is accountability. This is very, very important. To me, I have friends who is my accountability partner. My wife is accountability partner. My coach is accountability partner. It can be anyone. So who should be able to keep you accountable. And the T stands for tracking. This is where you will actually measure. So sometimes if you don't measure, then you will think that you are going in the positive direction. But how do you know? And the last thing, H, which is honor system, right? So where if you achieve this goal, you'll have to celebrate a mini celebration that you'll have to have for achieving. So
That's such a thoughtful framework, and I can tell you put a lot of effort into building it. And I love those examples, those really help bring it to life. So, looking ahead, what's next for you after everything you've been through? What's your next big focus?
One thing I've started doing is a lot of volunteering activities the past 1 year and 1.5 years, where I've started contributing to the community. See how we can actually pass this to another person. I don't want that knowledge and wisdom just stay with me. So I wanted to pass this. So other thing I did is this growth framework also. So I am actually releasing my next book where I mentioned about this growth framework, right? So how to learn faster, better, and easier. That's my next book. So that's what it is.
Wow, that all sounds super exciting. Karthik, I really enjoyed our conversation and learning about your journey. So, thank you so much for sharing your insight and experiences with us today. And thanks for being so vulnerable with all your responses. It's not easy, and I really do appreciate that. I also wish you all the best with your upcoming books and all the incredible work you're doing through volunteering. Take care, and thanks again for being here.
I enjoyed speaking to you, Harani. So there are a lot of things which I was not prepared to say on the call, but you pulled me out, from my heart. Thank you so much, Harani. Nice talking to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye. And that wraps up this episode of Voices of Introspection. If you'd like to connect with Karthik, you can find his LinkedIn profile link in the description of this episode. I'm your host, Harini Balachandar, and this podcast is brought to you by Nexus Diaries, your partner in getting small businesses and nonprofits the recognition they deserve, from SEO optimized content to broad media distribution. Nexus Diaries helps you share your story with the world. Learn more at nexusdiaries.com. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.